Newport County 0, Sutton United 2. We are back with the match reviews. I'm going to start doing these after every game. Just give my thoughts on, obviously allow other people to get their thoughts on the game as well. Get into like the player ratings and obviously listen to the post-match interview coming out from James. No, he said James Rowbury, not from James Rowbury, from Graham Coughlin. Mess up there. But so yeah, we will obviously go into different segments of the review, basically reviewing the game, where it went wrong, where it went well in the games that we win or lose. So do get your comments in the chat as well. Let me know your thoughts on the game against Sutton United this afternoon at Rodney Parade. Like I said, going into it, I think that the general census was, 5 unbeaten in a row, really looking, in some good form. Sutton United are in brilliant form as well, hence why they were 9th at the start of the game. And I just thought that, I expected a lot more from us, considering, we were on the back of 5 unbeaten, looked in really good form. The players were playing for each other. And I just thought that we would carry that on into today's fixture. And, even though Sutton are in good form and are a good team, I still thought that there'd be a lot more from the team in that performance. But look, it is what it is. It's one of those. We will get into different parts because, there's a lot to talk about from that game, even though, we've lost the game. And I think there are some positives to take. I don't want to be completely negative because, from a game that we lost, there was, like I said, a few positives and a few things to potentially look at and say, if that would have gone the other way, maybe we would have scored or maybe we would have won the game or got something from it. Let's read the comments. Elliot Wallace is in. Haven't seen you for a long time, mate, but thanks for tuning in. Don't agree with fans saying we played badly. I think, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. That was such a shit game, to be honest. Our team has been overperforming. I generally think we have overperformed for a lot of it recently. And I think that, over the last few seasons in general, especially under Michael Flynn, I think we definitely overperformed. And I don't think we were as good, or I don't think we should have been as high as what we were potentially expected to. Aaron Lewis, 19% crossing accuracy. We didn't play good at all. Our wing backs couldn't cross a ball. Chris is in. Obviously, Carlisle are flying at the moment. He says, "Evening, mate. Hope you are good to see you back live. Positive. Other teams in and around you drop points, I'm pretty sure." Yeah, I will talk about this because it's quite serious. We are in a relegation battle. I don't care what no one says. We are in a relegation battle. And if we're not careful, these drop points here and there are going to cause something really bad to happen. And obviously, I'm not going to want us to get relegated, obviously not. But, looking at the table, we're currently 18 on 37 points. Crawley, 11 points up, 11 points behind us, but they have got 2 games in hand. And, you look at teams, in and around us, they're only a win away from overtaking us. So there is still real a chance we could get relegated. And I know I don't want to say it, and I know Newport fans don't want to hear it, but we could get relegated this season if we carry on these, one win here, 4 defeats there. It could happen. And I'll be honest, James. James says in the chat, fans saying we can get playoffs. Last week I said we could push for the playoffs late on, but today just proved everything that we can. I just think this squad just cannot get the playoffs. I just don't think we're good enough for it. We were the better side. We had more shots, more corners, more possession. We were the better side. We just gave away 2 shit goals. Well, the first goal. Wow. Let's get to the first goal because that was comical. I'm not sure who put the ball wide, but the Sutton player headed the ball out for a goal kick. Well, it was a goal kick. And then he gave a corner. They scored from the corner. So it's just, and then the second one, no one closed him down. It's just a good finish. Apart from the crossing and 2 goals, it was actually good from the team. All about getting to safety point mark for Newport. Try finish high as possible and go again next season. Yeah, but I don't want to have to go again. That's what I mean. I want to go now. Why should we have to go again? Why should we have to wait? Why should we have to reset in the summer? We should just be able to go now. This team isn't it, really. We scrapped a few lucky wins in the last minute, but we don't play like a good team, and I don't understand why our players are allergic to shooting from outside the box, allergic to shooting in general. I think we're safe. We're better than the teams below. And like Ethan says, Hartlepool and Rochdale and Crawley are all worse off. I mean, Crawley today, I know Chris obviously went to the game, but Crawley losing 5-2 at home, it's just it's just one of those where I think we may finish 22nd or 21st and just about be safe, because there's, with all due respect to teams like Hartlepool, Rochdale, Crawley, I think they're just absolutely abysmal. And I think they're just shocking in general. Let's have a look at the stats from the game then. Because like I said, we did have more possession, 60-40, 15 shots to their 12. Obviously, their big chance was the second goal. The first one was just from a corner that got bundled around. Like James says, yeah, Telford getting relegated. He should have signed for a big club, like we told him to. But yeah, in terms of the stats, like I say, the stats do show that we were the better team. But I watched the game. I don't give a shit about the stats, to be honest with you. I saw it with my eyes that we were not the better team. The stats may say everything in the world. Man City could have 95% possession against Nottingham Forest and draw 1-1. Stats don't mean anything. And if you're watching it there with your eyes, you can tell a lot more from the game than epoxy stat. Let's be honest about this. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. It is another defeat, 5 unbeaten. And then we've got to start again. It's so annoying. We've got to start the whole run again from being 5 unbeaten, looking on a real bounce. Then we lose today, and then it's like, right, we've got to go again. But it's just one of those. Crawley were 4-0 down at half time and 4-1, 5-1 down. They gifted us chances. We took them. They are atrocious all over as a club. Their ownership has been their main problem. Don't agree there, but that's your opinion. I think we should have scored at least 3 of those chances. How we've not scored, the Zanzala one was the one that baffled me a bit the most. Zanzala should have scored. The little scrappiness in the box at the end of the first half. I don't know how the ball's not gone in at least one from one of those shots. It just really does baffle my mind. I'm not going to stay on too long because I do want to basically get off, just give my opinion on it. Like I said, we are going to look at Graham Coughlin's post-match interview, and then we'll just react to that, and then I will jump off. Obviously, do get your comments in along the way as well. So let's have a look what the Newport County manager has to say after the game. Right, let's get that off, actually. Right, let's listen to the man himself, Graham Coughlin.
Comes to an end, how frustrated are you?
Oh yeah, I'm extremely frustrated. I was under no illusions during the run. I knew it was always going to come to an end. Extremely frustrated, yeah, the circumstances in how we conceded and the 2 goals. I just thought we lost the midfield battle today, and I thought that was the key area for the Sutton victory. I thought they were very good. They were worthy of the victory, and that's why they are where they are in the division.
I agree. They I loved it when you nearly said James Redbury post-match interview. Yeah, I know. I did cock up there. But yeah, he said we lost the midfield battle. And I think that's where the game was lost, to be honest. Their midfield was just overran us. They were just better than us. And that's why I think we should have played James. That's why I think we should have played Nathan Mariah Welsh. I think he would have added a little bit more bite in that midfield. And I think ultimately they had a lot of joy through the centre of the park. And I think that's why Graham basically backs up there, saying that they won the game in the midfield.
And we are where we are. But look, I can't ask any more of my players. My players have run through brick walls since I've come through the front door. Look, you would have seen. You're not daft. Everybody would have seen that today. We were on our last legs. We were tired. We were lethargic. We lacked energy. We lacked that spark. That's with the territory. That goes with the territory. But look.
Right, I tell you what, lads, I'll let you listen to the post-match interview, and then I will give my overall thoughts, because it's going to be hard to quick stop and start the interview. So I'll play the full interview, and then I will come back with my thoughts at the end of it.
Look, fair play to them. They had 2 shots on goal, and then or 3 shots on target, and they scored twice. So that for me is a team that are clinical, team in confident mood, team that are on the up, team that are flying, and they played like that and finished them. So a lot of credit must go to Sutton, because you don't beat Erloch, you don't beat Newport County AFC like the way they did today. So a lot of credit. We're not an easy touch. We're a tough team to play against. We're a tough team to beat, and hats off them. They've done very, very well. So, and we just got to dust ourselves down. We've got to rest. We've got to regroup. We've got to recoup, and we've got to go again.
They were clinical. Is that where you were lacking today? You had some really good chances.
Yes, we did. Yes, and that's probably part of my frustration and the players' frustration. We had the chances. We hit the post. The goalkeeper pulled off a great save. We went 1-on-1, and I think they're defining moments. But I think from the moment I've come into the club, we spoke constantly in the after match and pre-match about moments, and we need them moments in our favour if we're to do anything, achieve anything, and kick on with this football club. But they were pivotal moments. Yes, the 3-4 opportunities we had, and then the one opportunity that they had. So that's sometimes, look, I'm bitterly disappointed, as are the lads. I think the fans will be as well tonight, because we had more than enough chances to score, never mind to get something out of the game, but just to score. But at the end of the day, the lads, you could physically see the lads were running on empty in that game today. It was just a bridge too far for us.
Yeah, you've done a lot of travelling of late. One game too many for you today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you could see that. I think even from the off, the first 5-10 minutes, we were flat. We were lethargic. I looked at it in the warm-up. And I have to hold my hands up. I probably didn't make enough changes today, to be quite honest with you. I've come into the club and I've been preaching about consistency, continuity. And I probably should have went against my own principles today, and I should have made more changes than I did. I've asked a lot of this group of lads. I've asked a lot of the same people, same 5 or 6 people, to keep playing, and you could probably see it today. You could probably see the energy, and we were more on the back foot than the front foot. You know, we weren't anticipating. We were flat. We were flat, to be honest. But look, we'll recharge the batteries, we'll regroup, we'll go again. The lads will have a couple of days off to get away and spend some family time and wallow. I don't want them wallowing, really. I want them to think of all the positives that they've done, and the positive moments that they've created at this football club. And I'd like them to learn from today, learn from Sutton, how they went about the business, how clinical they were. And you could see they had a free week. We didn't. You could see that, to be quite honest with you. But that sounds like excuses, and we don't make excuses. That's probably facts. But the better team, or the more clinical team, shall we say, was Sutton. They took the chances, we didn't, and I suppose that's why they won the game and we didn't.
You have, though, got a free week next week before you play Salford, and you're probably going to need it because Salford are in fine form themselves. Is it going to be more about recovery next week for you because of those tired bodies that you mentioned?
Yeah, it will be. That's spot on. And obviously we've lost. We've had some bad news yesterday as well on Adam Lewis, and that's kind of knocked us as well. So it's not been a great 24 hours, to be fair. It's not been great. We've lost Adam Lewis, and obviously we lost the game today. But yeah, as you say, it's all about recovery. It's all about getting ready to go again next week, because we've got some real tough encounters. We've got some real tough games. We've got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the season. We're nowhere near where we want to be. But I have every faith and every confidence in that group of players. And if anybody's annoyed or disappointed with them today, that annoyance and that disappointment should be pointed in my direction, because I didn't get it right today. I didn't make enough changes, and I didn't freshen the team up quite enough to give us that energy and them legs that we needed.
You say you've lost Adam Lewis. What is the situation with him?
I'm no medical expert, so I wouldn't be able to give you an in-depth review of it. But we've lost him for the end till the end of the season. Obviously, he's out till the end of the season. The scans weren't good, so I believe it's a hamstring or a tendon injury. So that's his season finished, which obviously we're massively disappointed. He's been a brilliant lad, a brilliant servant for this football club from Liverpool on loan. We thank Liverpool for allowing him to come on loan. We thank Adam for a service and everything he's done. He's been a tremendous lad, and he'll always be welcome back here.
How big a loss is he for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's a big loss. It gives us that balance with the left foot on that side. It's set pieces. Again, it's at the body, so I'm a body down. So we don't have the biggest of squads. But look, we'll do what we do in true Newport County fashion. We'll roll our sleeves up, we'll dig deep, and we'll go again.
Lastly from me, Graham, since we spoke to you, the sporting director, Darren Kelly, has left the club. How does that change your role? Do you have more control now with transfers and things like that?
It doesn't change my role. If I don't win enough games on a Saturday, if I don't win enough football games, I'm sure the club and the fans will come for me. So I still have to win football games. So it doesn't really change where I come from.
Does it give you more control in the transfer market?
I was controlling the transfer when I controlled the transfer market. And anyway, so it's as the manager of the football club, I'll have to say on who comes into the club, into the team, who goes out and who comes in. So it doesn't really, like I say, I'm not trying to be flippant or avoid any type of questions. I was in control of that, and anyway, so I will decide because it's my head at the end of the day. So I couldn't allow anybody else to make those kind of decisions. So it was down to me. And anyway, so if I've made good decisions in January, I'll take a pat on the back. If I've made bad decisions in January, I'll take a hammer to the head.
Thank you, Graham. Hard luck today.
No problem. Thank you.
In terms of that, is that model is something is for those above you to decide whether it continues or not, presuming you're happy with whatever they go along with? Or is it going to change? Do you think?
I just continue to manage as I have been doing. I'll just continue to do until if I'm told there is change. If I'm told they're going to go in a different direction, that's football. I have no idea what the thought process. I have no idea what will go on behind the scenes. Like I say, and I've said this many a time. My job is grass. My job is bibs, balls, cones, players. I can speak and I will speak to you till I'm blue in the face. I'll speak all day long if you want regarding football matters. But I think boardroom matters is out of my hands. I think that's the powers to be. I think it's way above my pay grade. I love the grass. I love the football. I love the bibs, balls, and cones. I love working with the players. So as far as I'm concerned, I carry on as I was until told different.
On grass matters. In terms of that left side, does that we have to rethink? Is Will Evans the next cover now? Because it is a little thin, as you say. On the
No, Will.
Yeah, listening to what Coughlin is saying, I pretty much agree with everything. Like, I understand that he's got to answer the press conference in a certain way, and he's sort of not deflecting away from questions. I did want to jump in because I don't want it to have, the whole interview and then sort of just snip it tiny little bits. But I do agree with a lot of what he says, and like, it does seem like he doesn't want to deflect blame onto his players, which I do agree with. He's trying to say that since he's come into the football club, they've pretty much been perfect to him. And they've been well sort of taken to him. They were down tooling under James Rowberry before he came in. Let's just read a couple of comments and then we'll finish this press conference or post-match interview, and then we will wrap this up. Sorry, but tiredness isn't an excuse, to be honest. Yeah, it's not. You can't say, "Oh, we're tired," because it's a weak answer. B, it's just again deflecting the blame of tactics or actual skill-based problems. It don't help when we cross the balls in when we got McNeil in the box and they got a backline full of 6-foot+ men and Kobe Rowe who won every header. Oh, Kobe Rowe, what a player he was today. He was probably one of their best players along with Will Randall. I think Will Randall was excellent for them, getting down that left wing constantly, playing the little interchange passes in between him and the midfielders. I think Will Randall, for me, as an overall game, I think he was man of the match. I think he was everywhere. He was down that left-hand side, give and goes, like I said, and he caused a lot of problems in the game. Elliot says, professional footballers should be able to play 3 games a week, really. Yes, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday is what they should be able to play. Right, let's carry on.
Adam is obviously a left-back. He can play left-back, left wing-back. Will is obviously a striker, so I can't... that for me would be square pegs and round holes. No doubt Will can do a job down that side, but... Look, we've got a small squad. We have to just plug holes, and we have to just.
So he's basically said. Obviously, he was asked a question about Adam Lewis, and he's saying the presser has basically said Will Evans can play as a left wing back, and he said, and Coughlin has come out and said he can play as a left wing back, but his role at the club is a striker, and we've just got to have to basically do without Adam Lewis, unfortunately. Look, if anyone that doesn't know, Adam Lewis, of course, has suffered a season-ending injury and will return back to Liverpool, yeah. James says, who was your man of the match? Can't believe they gave it to Aaron Lewis. I said just then before you commented that Will Randall, the left-hand side, he was absolutely superb for Sutton. And I don't get how you can give a man of the match to a team that's lost. Obviously, they're always going to give it to a Newport player because it's the Newport's man of the match. But Will Randall, for me, he was excellent.
With the hand that we've been dealt.
I think I should say it's Aaron, and then who'd be behind? Next in the, I'm trying to think. Can Matt Baker play there, or is it?
We might play without a left wing back or a left back either.
he said, obviously the preferred choice is Aaron Lewis at left wing back. Who else? And he said, we'll just play with a left wing back. A little bit of comical there from Cotland. So basically, and that basically avoids the avoids the what's the thing? Avoids the question basically and stops the answer right there. And the funny thing is, we had him on loan from Wolves in the second half, 2021. Had who on loan from Wolves? Am I missing something? I'm tired. I might be missing something. Let's carry on.
But look, we'll look at it. It's an issue. It's a problem that I'll have to come up with something. I'll have to solve. So it's a big loss. And again, obviously, as I said, we thank Adam for his service, and we thank Liverpool for allowing him to come. But that you're right. That natural left foot, that balance will be missed.
Will Randall, yeah. Okay.
They didn't quite get the bench impact for reasons you've gone into, sort of tired bodies, I guess. Or do you sometimes you just have to look and say, fair play, and manage that?
Yeah, I thought at times it did. At times it did look men and boys. To be fair, they look bigger than us, stronger than us in duels and individual. They always seem to come out with the ball and the tackles.
I said that in the vlog. I said every 50-50 they won. Every time the ball was in the air or unclaimed, they would bring it down, bring the ball forward. There's nothing more than good stuff I can say about Sutton because they dominated the game and they were deserved winners, in my opinion.
And headers, and they just look more manful, more bigger and stronger, more energetic. They looked as if there was on occasions I did feel as well that they wanted it more than us.
Yeah, they did want it more than us. 100%.
But then obviously looking at the lads and looking at our stats and our metrics and things like that, we've not covered anywhere near.
We've got a Wrexham fan in. See you next season. Dagenham lost today, 2 points behind Notts with 2 games in hand. See you next season. Focus on your Disney Plus channel. See you later.
Where we had to, our high-speed running was down as well, and that's not us. And there's mitigating circumstances. I don't want to stand here and make excuses. I never will. But there is mitigating circumstances, and there's no one that will have any negative things to say about them lads, because them lads have absolutely run through brick walls for us. And they got.
That gets me a little bit when managers say they've run through brick walls. You can run all game, but if you don't do anything with the running stats, what's the point in running? It's like when I'll use a Newport example because I don't want to use a non-Newport example, but you'd get a player like I don't know, we'll say Dominic Pollion, for example, was never going to score goals, but would constantly run, constantly give it his all. He's never going to go anywhere. He could just run around all game and just never turn up. But that's what pisses me off with managers when they say they run around. It really pisses me off. And by the way, if Wrexham are so good, they wouldn't have lost to Boreham Wood last season. I'm not going to bite at Wrexham because they're a relevant little club. So let's carry on.
Going to have to do it again. That's just where we are at this stage. But like I say, did we do enough to win the game? There's an argument that, or to draw the game. There's an argument there that we had chances, but we didn't take them. Sutton did, and fair play to Sutton. They go home with the 3 points.
Be an excuse. Was it a corner or is that?
No, well, obviously it's obviously the lad has had a header on goal, but look at that. Yeah,
obviously the goal that they got given. He just said to Coughlin, "Was it a corner? Was it a goal kick?" And he went, "No, it's the lads headed it wide. It's a goal kick." But it is what it is. Yeah, and like Ethan said, this guy who's a Wrexham fan, he's got a Chelsea profile picture, so it is what it is.
That I think Newport, we're used to those type of decisions going against. We're used to decisions not going our way, so we ain't going to.
How bad is that? Coughlin has to say we're Newport, we're used to decisions going against us. That's wrong. That is so bad, but it pisses me off.
I'm not going to cry over a silly refereeing decision. We're used to it. We have had some horrendous decisions, and it continues. But look, they are, and that's not actually. We didn't lose the game because of that decision.
Cheers.
Scott Bennett, his 300th
Thank you. We did not lose the game based off that first goal decision. Thank you. I said to so many people who have said, the referee, the linesman. That yes, 100%. It's a goal kick. 100%. It's not a corner. They score from it. Shouldn't have happened. Yes, okay, correct. But did we deserve to win the game based off that? Or did that goal that they scored totally swing the game in their way? No. We wasted chances. They took them. Simple as that.
300th game for Newport ended at half-time. Was that an injury or was that tactical or what was that?
I changed the midfield. I didn't think we were landing on enough second.
That's such a poor question. The question was, Scott Bennett's 300th game gets brought off at half-time. Was that an injury or a tactical tweak? He's already... The thing is, with press conferences, you've got to listen to the whole thing because he's already said in the press conference, like 10 minutes earlier from this point, that the midfield was where we lost the game. And then you answer another question about the midfield. It's just poor questionings personally, but...
Second balls, I didn't think we were making enough first contacts. Obviously, Scott, he's played most of the games for us. So again, I was trying to freshen things up, juggle the balls, and maybe go for it because we played with two advanced midfielders in the second half rather than two sitters. So yes, we tried to open the game up. We tried to make something happen in the final third. We tried to create.
That's what I like with Coughlin. I will say that there's a lot of flaws to Graham Coughlin, but I don't think any manager, especially in this league or any EFL league, is 100% perfect. There's flaws to every manager. But one thing he does do really well is react in games. If he knows something's going wrong, he will quickly react. At halftime, he brought Bennett off, brought Mariah Welsh on. Instead of playing two sort of defensive-minded midfield, he chucks Mariah Welsh on to try and win the game or to try and open up the midfield. And that's what I like about Coughlin. That's something that James obviously never done. He wouldn't react quick enough. And, I'm glad that we've got a manager that can do that.
A little bit by bringing Welshie on. I thought Welshie done very well when he come on as well. But we just tactical. We just tried to change the game. We just tried to freshen it up, and we tried to get another body running in the box.
As I said, 300 up now for him. He's been a fantastic servant for this football club, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great lad. He's a great character, great lad.
Some of the questions are fucking diabolical, man.
A lot of the Newport County mantras and philosophies and things like that has been built around Scott Bennett. He's been a pivotal part of everything we've done since we come through the door. And I love the lad. I love the lad to bits. To be fair, he's a real warrior. And I look forward to maybe getting another 300 out of him if I can. How
do you go about being more clinical? Is that something you can do on the training pitch, or is that something you can only see at 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon?
Well, it's very similar to the penalty debate. You can practice penalties all day long in training, but you can't replicate the atmosphere. You can't replicate the match day.
Yeah, I agree with that. The question is, we don't finish our chances. Is that something that you can sort of work on in training? And you can work on finishing chances. You can score 50 goals in training, but there's nothing like playing on a Saturday and sort of getting the match day feel of scoring a goal on a match day. So I agree where he's coming from, but again, it's a pretty obvious answer. But
experience, you can't replicate the pressure that game day brings. So it's very, very similar. Yes, and you're right. Practice, the more you practice, some say the better you get. Some say the luckier you get. So it's definitely practice, but you won't be able to replicate. You won't be able to replicate the match day experience in training, obviously, because of those things that we've just mentioned. Very, very similar to penalty shootouts.
Cheers, Graham.
Yeah, that is the press conference or the post-match interview, I should say, from Graham Coughlin. My God, awful question. It's Luke Lewis, to be fair. You're not going to get good questions. Literally, we can attest to this. We can score 10 goals in training, but can't score in a match. Yeah, so that is the press conference from Graham Cochran. Some very good questions at the start. I think the questions deteriorated towards the end. I'm not saying what you guys in the chat are saying about the person who asked the question, but they definitely did deteriorate at the end. But some very, important questions about the sort of game, how it was going, how, we've bounced back in recent games where, we were backs against the wall. So I do think a lot of what he said made sense. And I think that, that certain questions just was not needed, but it is what it is. Our next couple of games, we're away to Salford on Saturday and then follow that up with a midweek trip away to Grimsby. Let me know in the chat how many points you think we're going to get from the next two games. Salford away and then follow that up by Grimsby. So two nicer long treks for County, put it that way, in the next two away games. Like I said, let me know in the chat. I will give my prediction on it. I'm going to go, I think, Salford are a good team, and I think Salford will, I'll say 4. I'll say 4. Luke says 3. Elliot 3. James 1. Ethan 1. I think we'll get a draw off Salford, and I think we'll beat Grimsby. I don't think we'll lose in the next 2 games, sorry. Chris has said, you got Salford next, you'll get something against them. Even though they won, they like to win one, then drop points the next. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm basing it off. And we've lost, and we we sometimes bounce back from defeat, and I think we'll play a lot better at Salford when there's less pressure on us. Elliot says, lose to Salford and beat Grimsby. I think Grimsby have massively fallen off a little bit. They were, they were really good at the start of the season. We're getting some, really good points on the board. Sort of tailed off a little bit, but look, today was an indication of where we really are. I think the last 5 games may have given a bit of false hope, false sort of confidence, and I don't think that, that was always going to carry on. But it was just a lining in the sand of, we're not there yet. We're not chasing playoffs yet. And I think the playoffs, in my opinion, today just realised the fact that we're never really going to sort of get playoffs this season. It's going to be solidify, stay in the league is most important. If we were to get relegated, God, that would really push us 5-6 steps back. But stay in the league, build on it from next season. I don't want to say those words because I want us to just be good now, and I think that's what any football fan wants. But yeah, it is an interesting one. Read the last few comments before we wrap up. Like I said, I am going to start doing a lot more content. I will quickly talk about that at the end. Someone remind me before I read the last few comments to talk about the content that's going to be coming up on the channel. So Ethan says, to be fair, if I don't set my standards high, I can't be disappointed. I get that. I get that side of it completely. Sutton, very underrated team. No one's speaking about them in the mix for the playoffs. Well, if you look at the league table, I will get the Sky Bet league table on because, like I said, we are towards the bottom of it. And as much as I don't want to, obviously, imagine a chance that we could get relegated, there is a possibility if it goes awful. So let me just put the table on the screen now, and then we can have a quick look at it. Take that comment off. Yeah, so there is obviously the Sky Bet League 2 table. As it stands, we are sitting in 18th on 37 points. Like I said, 11 points above the drop, but Crawley have got 2 games in hand. It's tight down there. I will admit that. If teams start to pick up points, then this sort of 16th, 17th to 22nd, 23rd could get really congested. But yeah, it is difficult. And then if you look at the top, Sutton don't move into the playoffs, but are 2 points off the playoffs. Obviously, Mansfield lost 5-2 today against Salford, which is an incredible game. I must say, 2 5-2 games in the league today. Obviously, Carlisle beating Crawley 5-2 and Salford beating Mansfield 5-2 what a win. And by the way, fair play, Chris, second in the league, Carlisle. But that's how the Sky Bet League 2 table looks after today. Let me just read the last comment, and then I will tell you what is coming on the channel. We are better than Harrogate, Hartlepool, Crawley and Rochdale. I think that's it. As bad as it sounds, I think that is it. And that's very scary. There's 4 teams there that we're better than. And beyond that, I don't think we're better than anyone else. And even Hartlepool, we struggled against Hartlepool. We've lost to Rochdale, drew to Crawley. Yes, we battered Harrogate, but I think that they were very bad at that point. On that day, we were 4-0 up after half an hour, I believe. But yeah, it's looking bad. It is looking bad. Last comment. Chris says, I'd rather points on the board than games in hand. Need to win them games in hand. Yes. Right. So what is coming on the channel going forward? So obviously you have seen the fan cam from Luke after today's game. If there are any Newport fans, I will say this now, if there are any Newport fans that go to the games that are watching this, if you want to have a fan cam after the game, just come up to me, 2-3 minutes just to give your thoughts, just to give more fans their opinion, because I think we've seen over the last few years that fans get treated like absolute shit. So if you do want to come on and have your thoughts after any game, or, you know, even if we've lost and just want to rant, or, you know, just get your emotions out, get your feelings out, get your opinions out after a game, then just come up to me at any home game. I may do them at away games that I go to as well, but preferably just home games. So fan cams are going to come to the channel. Obviously, I'm going to do match reviews like this, even if I don't go to the game, because I'll be watching it on iFollow. I'm going to do match previews, and I am going to start a Newport County podcast, which we're going to start maybe at the end of the season, reviewing the season, and then going through the summer. We'll look at transfer. I'm going to carry on doing transfer videos for new signings. So yeah, a lot more content coming to the channel over the next couple of months and for the foreseeable future. So like I said, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the stream if you haven't done so already. Newport County fail to beat Sutton United at home in a very, very entertaining, well, not entertaining, very shit game is what we'll say at Rodney Parade. I'll see you on Monday for some content, and then I'll see you on Friday for a match preview against Salford City. Thanks for watching, guys. It was a tough watch today, but up the county. Let's hope we can get those points back on the board on Saturday at Salford. Thanks for watching.